Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi Miss, I am Citra Nabila from 4A, and from my research I found that news translation refers to the process of translating content written by journalists for the media, including for the written press, digital media, and broadcast news. The purpose of news translation is to adapt and convey the original content to suit the target audience and cultural context while maintaining the, the intended message and style. This process involves certain measures of transformation on the source text to produce new style content. News translations plays a crucial role in reconstructing social reality by integrating findings from various fields such as journalism, linguistics, and cultural studies. It also helps in the transmission of international news information and calls for news translator to complete with common journalistic strategies such as simplification. Additionally, during this process, translation has a role to play in disseminating the ideologies and constructing frames of news stories into the target audience. Then, news translation techniques involve several aspects, including word selection, sentence structure, and contextualization. These techniques help in adapting the original content to suit the target audience and cultural context while maintaining the intended message and style. The first is word selection. This technique involves choosing appropriate words in the target language that convey the the same meaning as the original text. Translators need to be aware the cultural and linguistic nuance of the target language to ensure accurate and effective communication. Second is sentence structure. News translation often requires restructuring sentences to make them more suitable for the target audience. This may involve changing the order of words, using different grammatical structures, or simplifying complex sentences. The third is contextualization. Contextualization is essential in news translation to ensure that the translated content is relevant and understandable to the target audience. This may involve providing additional information, clarifying cultural references, or adapting the tone and style of the original context. And then, news translation is used in various fields including mass media, business, and politics. Here are some examples of how news translation is used in these areas. The first is mass media. News translation plays a crucial role in transmissions of international news information. Television news translation, for instance, is essential in the era of market-driven journalism where news organizations compete for viewers and readers. Translation scholars have discussed the changing role of translation in this context and call for news translator to comply with common journalistic strategies such as simplification. The second is in this business. News translation is used in business to communicate important information to stakeholders such as investors, customers, and employees. This may involve translating press release, financial reports, and other business-related documents into multiple languages to reach a wider audience. The third is in politics. News translation is used in politics to communicate important information to the public, such as speeches, press conferences, and policy statements. This may involve translating political documents and speeches into multiple languages to reach a wider audience and ensure that the message is understood by all. So, news translation is used in such as mass media, business, and politics to communicate important information to a wider audience. It involves adapting the original content to suit the target audience and cultural context while maintaining the intended message and style. Then, the role of news translations is multifaceted and includes the development of global communication, increasing information openness, and developing language skills. Here are some key aspects of news translation role. The first is development of global communication. News translation plays a crucial role in breaking down language barriers and facilitating the transmission of international news information. It enables people from different cultures and linguistic background to access and understand news content, which in turn promotes global communication and understanding. The second is increasing information openness. By translating news content into multiple language, the news translate by translating news content into multiple languages, news translation helps to increase information openness and transparency. This allows people from different parts of the world to access and understand news stories that may have previously been inaccessible due to language barriers. The third is developing language skill. That news translation requires translator to have a deep understanding of both the source and target languages, as well as the cultural context in which the news is being produced and consumed. This process helps to develop language skills and cultural awareness, which can be beneficial for both the translators and the wider society. So, news translation plays a significant role in the development of global communication, increasing information openness, and developing language skills. It enables people from different cultures and linguistic background to access and understanding news content, which promote global understanding and fosters the development of language skills. Then, news translation face several challenges including cultural, linguistic, and social suitability. These challenges can impact the effectiveness of news translation and the ability of the target audience to understand and engage with content. The first is cultural suitability. News translation must take into account cultural differences between the source and target languages. This includes adapting the content to suit the target audience's cultural values, beliefs, and norms. Translators need to be aware of these differences and adjust the content accordingly to ensure that the message is effectively communicated. The second is linguistic suitability. News translation involves selecting appropriate words and phrases in the target language that convey the same meaning as the original text. Translators need to have a deep understanding of both the source and target languages to ensure accurate and effective communication. This can be challenging, especially when dealing with technical or specialized terminology. The third is social suitability. News translation must consider the social context in which the content is being produced and consumed. This includes adapting the tone, style, and register of the original text to suit the target audience's expectation and preferences. Translators need to be aware of the social norms and conventions of the target language and culture to ensure that the content is socially acceptable and engaging. News translation solutions include the use technology and language education and professional consultant. This solution helps to address the challenges faced by news translation and improve the quality and effectiveness of news translation. The first is use of technology. Technology can be used to facilitate news translation and improve its efficiency. For example, computer-assisted translation tools can help translators by providing translation memories, terminology database, and other resources that can speed up the translation process and ensure consistency. Machine's translation can also be used to generate raw translations that can be edited and refined by human translations. The second is language education. Language education is essential for news translators to develop the necessary language skills and cultural awareness required for effective news translation. This includes learning the source and target language, as well as studying the cultural context in which the news is being produced and consumed. Language education can be provided through formal courses, workshops, and online resources. And the last is professional consultation. Professional consultation can help news translators to address the challenges related to cultural, linguistic, and social suitability. This can involve consulting with subject matter experts, cultural advisors, and other professionals who can provide insight and guidance on how to adapt the content for target audience. Professional consultation can also involve working with a team of translators and editors to ensure that equality and consistency of translated content. So, news translation solutions include the use of technology, language education, and professional consultation. This solution help to address the challenges faced by news translation. So that's all from my researches. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.